The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Doug Billings here with you on The Right Side. Hey, today, Venezuela. What exactly happened down there? Why did we do it? Why does it matter? How does it benefit America? I'll get into that in detail. What about Cuba? Where does she fall in all of this? I'll tell you. What happens when regimes like Maduro's begins to fracture? All of this in detail today, why this is a good thing. Ladies and gentlemen, The Right Side with Doug Billings is now upon you. Are you ready? Let's go.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hey everybody, my name is General Mike Flynn, and I'm here to do a big shout out for my great friend and one of the best in the business, Mr. Doug Billings. Right Side with Doug Billings, Right Side with Doug Billings. Doug is the future of the airwaves when it comes to independent broadcasters and podcasters. He is the new Rush Limbaugh. He's exactly what America needs right now, looking for honesty, looking for wisdom, looking for truth, looking for patriotism. Listen to Doug Billings at Right Side with Doug Billings. God bless you and God bless America, and thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are winning. We're winning, winning, winning. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Are you ready?
We are not liberal snowflakes who melt away in the face of tragedy, adversity, and challenge. We are a covenant nation under God, and his divine providence is not dead and it's not gone. It is living within each and every one of you. And you will bring it to life in such a way that the world has never seen before. We never back down. We never give up. We march forward.
Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us all around the world. I appreciate that very much. We are at a turning point because over the weekend, the United States of America did something that the world was told that she would never do. America acted. America actually demonstrated the man parts of what needs to be done in certain portions of the world, and especially in our hemisphere. America acted, not with speeches, not with summits, not with strongly worded emails, not with carefully worded concern on social media. She acted and she enforced consequences. And isn't it sweet to see? And when Nicolás Maduro was removed from power and taken into United States custody, ladies and gentlemen, it was not about Venezuela alone. This was a signal to the hemisphere, a signal to cartel regimes wherever they are, and a signal that America is done pretending not to see the problem. So let's start here, because this all matters, ladies and gentlemen, hugely in the situation. This is not a war. This is not an invasion. This is not nation building, and it is indeed law enforcement, plain and simple. Maduro wasn't taken out because of ideology. He wasn't taken out because of politics. He was taken out because he ran a criminal enterprise that was pretending to be a government. And he was protected by state power. Narco-terrorism, guilty. Drug trafficking, guilty. Human child trafficking, guilty. Money laundering. Regional destabilization. Folks, those are not abstract charges. Those are pipelines of poison that reach American communities. If stopping that isn't America first, I don't know what is. And when a foreign leader protects those pipelines, he forfeits the privilege of impunity. As it turns out, sovereignty is not a shield for crime. Absolutely not. Now, some people ask, well, how do we really know, Doug? How do we really know that this is good for America? I mean, it's one thing to say it, but how do we really know? Because a criminal regime operating with impunity is always worse for America than a criminal regime operating under pressure. Removing Maduro didn't magically fix Venezuela overnight, and no one with any shred of credibility thinks that. What it did do, in my opinion, was far more important. It broke the illusion of untouchability. It removed the single figure who held together fear, loyalty, and corruption at the top. And when you remove that, when you cut off that head, systems begin to fracture. Command structures weaken. Deals begin to unravel, and leverage in the region and in the world shifts. So that benefits the United States because leverage, when you think about that, it creates options that don't have entanglements. Not occupation. We're not rebuilding. We're not getting involved in forever wars. Leverage. It's all about leverage. This comes from a man, Trump, who knows a thing or two about the art of the deal. How do you get leverage on these people? I mean, it's brilliant on multiple levels. And let me deal with something very directly here with you. The comparison to Iran and Iraq, all right? That's all reflexive. The reflexive claim that we've seen this before. No, actually, we have not seen this before. That comparison is a synonym for what I call intellectual immaturity. Iraq was a large-scale invasion. It had an extended occupation. It was all about nation building. Trillions of dollars was spent. There was no clear end state ever articulated. And what happened here this weekend in terms of Venezuela was targeted law enforcement with a defined objective and a defined end. The precision of that American operation is just amazing. It's outstanding. And it's what is America established again, and that is that America is the planet's only superpower. Believe that, ladies and gentlemen. America is the only superpower on this planet. No other nation on earth could do what we did. Now, if your brain can't distinguish between, targeted law enforcement with a defined objective and what went on in Iran and Iraq, that's not wisdom. That is fear pretending to be sophistication. When you're up there yammering and complaining that this is nothing but an Iran or an Iraq. Mature analysis asks questions. What was the mission here? What is the scope of the mission? What's the end state? What does that look like? And here, Venezuela, the answers to those questions are very clear. Remove impunity, apply pressure, shape outcomes, and then stop. That's restraint. It's not recklessness. Now, I want to address something that really drives me crazy. All right, this is one of the key pet peeves on social media and watching the news pundits. The claims that everything is theater, Doug. It's all theater. Grab your popcorn. Can't stand that. Maduro's perp walk was staged. Did you see how he was behaving? His smile prove it. He was smiling, therefore it must be fake. The moment was caught on camera somehow means the whole thing was scripted. Look at how those officers are walking with him. My God, there was even somebody in the crowd along the way there who stopped and had a selfie with Maduro. So, folks, this is not a movie. This is real life. People are confusing planning with deception. And it happens all the time, especially among the clickbait crowd. You have got to rehearse operations like this. You have got to stage logistics. And you've better plan routes, your timing, and your contingency plans. It all better be planned. And so that is not theater. That is called professionalism. And as for Maduro smiling during the walk, that tells you nothing about anything being staged, but it tells you everything about sociopathy. That man and men like him feed on attention, even negative attention, even while they're in handcuffs. And yes, in a world where people can get in line or stand along the sidelines. Selfies can happen at crime scenes. Selfies can happen under security measures. It's entirely believable that somebody tried to snap a photo there. We saw it happen along the line in the walk in the news. That does not make this entire thing fake. It makes it human, ladies and gentlemen. The everything is theater, that mindset poisons the public mind. Because if nothing is real, then nothing is worth defending. It drives me crazy. That kind of mindset took a lot of people out of the battlefield when we were in 2020, when we needed we the people to get involved. Don't worry, President Trump's going to come back before 2024. The military is running the country. Remember that nonsense? The people that said that shouldn't deserve one more minute of your time. Unforgivable. It makes entire swaths of our movement stay on the sidelines, not getting involved in their local levels of government and so forth. And that is how republics go numb, really. So let me widen up here a little bit, take a broader look at this, because Venezuela was not the story. Venezuela was the signal. And signals matter in this world because they communicate intent and capability and willpower. And they convey that all at the same time. Signals do. And the signal sent here was unmistakable, if you're looking closely. The signal was criminal regimes are no longer safe behind flags of a country. Titles don't cancel indictments. And America will enforce law without apologizing for it. And the entire hemisphere heard that signal, especially Cuba, ladies and gentlemen. For years, Venezuela had been Cuba's economic and strategic lifeline. Venezuela supplied the oil and the cash, and Cuba supplied, believe it or not, intelligence and control and repression expertise. You want to know how to suppress people? Ask Cuba's leadership. Boy, do they ever know how to repress people. And when Maduro lost impunity, Havana lost certainty. And authoritarian regimes don't handle uncertainty well, my friends. They rely on predictability. They rely on fear and closed systems. So it also matters deeply for the narco-states and the cartel pipelines that we know exist. Criminal networks do not operate in isolation. They rely, in fact, on safe havens. They rely on transit corridors and on political protection. When top-level protection cracks, the entire network destabilizes. You see the brilliance of how we approached this with President Trump and our military. Routes shift, deals break, mistakes happen. And when mistakes happen upstream, fewer poisons reach downstream. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not ideology. That is public safety. America first. Secure borders don't start at Texas or Arizona or any other southern state. Secure borders start with consequences. And so that brings us to the bigger truth that I want to talk with you about. What you're witnessing here in all of this is not improvisation. It is the Trump Doctrine, live in action and returning. Law enforcement over war. Leverage over lectures. Deterrence without quagmires. And sovereignty is respected until it's abused as cover for crime. And that's not globalization. That is self-defense with discipline. So none of this distracts from America first. In fact, it reinforces America first. All of this, because a nation that enforces consequences abroad is a nation capable of enforcing law at home. So let me close up with this. We can take care of America. We can prosecute the criminals in America. Many of you are calling for the head of Pam Bondi, and some of you are calling for the head of Kash Patel. I just want to give you a friendly reminder. They have been through the approval process in Senate. They were given approval just 9 months ago. 9 months ago. And if you look at the hundreds and thousands of arrests that have been made, especially in terms of illegal immigrants and so forth, we've had real judges be arrested and sentenced for crime. It's astounding what they've done in just 9 months. Now, these bigger cases, the people that you want to see perp walked, those cases take time to develop an appeal-proof case, and a case that can deliver real convictions that won't be thrown out or overturned because they were all based in fiction. That's what the left did to us. And we saw President Trump have to face judges because of fictional charges, and his family and members of his inner circle like General Flynn, Roger Stone, Peter Navarro, etc. And all of those charges and all of those cases were thrown out and overturned because they were, in fact, fiction. We don't operate like that. We operate by creating appeal-proof convictions that stick. And so excuse me for being a little impatient with the people who are impatient, because Bondi and Patel have only been there 9 months, and they've done an outstanding amount of work. We're going to get to where you want to be, but I caution you, as I always have, don't expect military tribunals. Not only is that the worst possible idea, it's not American. These crimes need to be heard in a public court, a civil court. Military tribunals are for members of the military anyway, so we're not going to see any Nuremberg 2.0. The people that tell you that are clickbait artists, and they're not working and living within reality. They're working within a world that wants to get more clicks and more attention so that they can make more money. I mean, it's that simple. I have no more patience for that. This was not about humiliation. It was not about making fun of Maduro. It was not about optics. It was not some empire-building scheme. This was all about delivering consequences. And consequences are how order is restored. America doesn't need to police the world. I'm not suggesting that. But she does need to remind the world occasionally that criminality has a cost. And this weekend, she did exactly that. And I'm glad that she did. President Trump is the most substantial president we've had, and he might be the most effective and meaningful one that we've ever had in our history. Okay, you have a homework assignment. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel over there, at The Right Side Doug Billings, okay? YouTube, at The Right Side Doug Billings. Subscribe. Click on that little red bell so that you get notified every time I drop new content. And follow me on Truth Social and on X. You can find me at Doug Billings. And if you would like a personal message, I'm happy to do it. Book me on Cameo. Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. We are in this thing together. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the set of my show, Doug Billings. Hey, my good friends at EMP Shield, that's electromagnetic pulse, in case you're from Raytown, Missouri. Electromagnetic pulse could wipe out your home electrical system, could wipe out your vehicle. And thanks to the radical liberal agenda that was put forth under Administrator Biden and Vice Pretender Harris, there are lots of people in this country who want to do us harm. And maybe an EMP device would be their chosen weapon. But EMP Shield gives you a device that can protect you. This little baby here goes on your home outlets, a computer, a router, whatever you want to protect. And then they also have a larger model like this. You can still hold it in the palm of your hand that goes on your vehicle battery so that you can get out of trouble from point A to point B. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug, ladies and gentlemen. Save yourself. Save your property. EMPshield.com. Promo code Doug. We're in this together, folks. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.